If you won $10 million in the lottery, would you continue to work or would you quit on the spot? Well, that's an interesting question that we've been asking Americans since 1997 sporadically. We just updated it. The answer, 31% of employed Americans say they would quit. You thought I was going to say would continue working, but no, that's not the case. We have 2/3, basically, as you can see, of Americans who tell us they would keep working even if they won $10 million in the lottery, and that's actually up. You see the trend there. We've asked it 3 times before. At a low point back in 2004, we had just 55% of workers who said they would keep working if they won $10 million in the lottery, and now that's bounced up again. Of course, this has particular resonance now because we just had that $400 million plus Powerball lottery that was won by people in a couple of states. I looked at some news accounts. It was interesting. One woman in New Jersey said she was going to continue working, even though she had won a lot of money in the lottery. And then they interviewed another man in Minneapolis who said he was quitting on the spot. So actual lottery winners' reactions to winning certainly vary between quitting and not quitting if they're employed. But as you see, a big hunk of the American working population says they would continue working. Not only that, look at this. We followed up and said, all right, you said you were going to continue working. Would you continue for the same employer or would you look for a new job? And the majority of people who said they would keep working say they would continue for the same employer. So apparently, we have a significantly high level of job satisfaction, at least based on these measures out there in the American public at this point, at least a little higher than we've seen in the past, at least so far as keeping your job is concerned rather than trying to quit or searching for a new one. There are some big differences by age. That table's in front of you there. Naturally, if you're old, 55 plus, and still working, you're much more likely to say that you would quit. If you're a younger American and were to win $10 million in the lottery, you're much more likely to say you would keep working. But notice a lot of those younger workers say they would, however, avail themselves of the opportunity to search for a new job if they were to win the lottery. Bottom line here is we have an increased interest in keeping one's job rather than quitting if one were to hypothetically win $10 million in the lottery compared to the past. We tried to figure out why this might have changed. Of course, we had the 2008 recession. Maybe that changed Americans' attitudes about their jobs. Also, maybe $10 million isn't that big a number anymore. After all, by the time you get your $10 million prize, if you have it in a lump sum, it's diminished in value, and then the IRS takes a big hunk. So actually, you don't get as much money as you think you would if you win $10 million nominally, and perhaps that's what's causing Americans to be more likely to say, hey, that wouldn't be enough. I'm going to continue working. Bottom line, 2/3 of us would keep working even if we won $10 million. I'm Dr. Frank Newport, Gallup Editor-in-Chief.